Hey everyone, this is episode, and in this episode we have Sarah of RosaLifestyle joining us. If you missed last week's episode, go check it out now. Last week we talked about dementia, taking back control in daily life, and caring for someone who has dementia. To me personally, WeeKett always meant start taking control and making changes in our life from WeeKett, from a little kettle.
Yeah.
And it may sound a little bit privileged, but many people have shared the feedback that when the kettle is already boiled, it makes it easier to get out of the bed. And so it's just part of that
purpose, you know.
Yes, make that starting the morning, making it a little bit easier, a little bit better, have a little better routine, and have that knock-on effect. Similar to just have that bit of convenience in daily lives, and
spot on. And then they can go to the WeeKett kettle with their two-handled mug and
the perfect gift bundle.
and have their morning tea or coffee. But you're right. I mean, you know, it's a simple thing. Have the kettle boiled for a given time, and yet that gets someone out of bed. And that routine is so important. Getting out of bed, having a purpose, also important. You know.
Yeah, I can think of scenario like you mentioned a lot of elderlies. One challenge to stay hydrated. What the kettle can do. I feel like I've just got this sales personality on, but bear with me. I think that it can be quite a practical tip for who want to drink more. One feature is the scheduling feature. So you can set it to boil at a certain time. So if you want to make sure you have like 5 cups of something per day, 5 cups of tea.
That's
what you can do is set it up once in the morning, once at like 10 a.m. and then once at like 1, and then so set it up 5 times. So when you hear the kettle is boiled, you know, oh, it's time to
do you know that's an amazing feature, because sometimes we would say to my gran, and I'm sure other people who have got relatives or friends with dementia would say, have you had a glass of water? Yes. How many have you had? And they can't remember, you know. And we would try with things like filling up a 2-litre jug, say, and then we could see how much she'd had, but then she couldn't always lift the jug. So we were back to sort of not having the water, or sometimes it would be spilt, so she wouldn't actually have drunk it. And the scheduling feature, even if it's, you know, someone's checking and it's only half filled and it's 2 or 3 cups, and that really would help. 1, it reminds them you need to have a drink. 2, it lets them or any carers know how much they've drunk.
Yes,
that's a fantastic feature.
That's quite reassuring to know. And there's another feature which I think adds to the purpose, is you can actually share control. So when someone you're caring for puts the kettle on, or if the kettle goes off, you, even if you're not there in the household, but by sharing the control, once the kettle is on from a different household, you actually, like, even if you're here, you get to see, oh, the kettle is on. And you can actually see, if you want to see, the kettle has left the base, so you actually know
that's great. It. When someone isn't always, so again, because the carers are often still working age people, you know, your family and things, so you can check and see if they've actually had a drink, or at least poured their drink, as opposed to, you know,
you can just like go over
having to drive over and
we had actually quite a few customer service calls with the carer of the customer to set things up. So it's something we noticed, that people with various mobility issues tend to use that, but it's these features, control sharing and scheduling, it's probably something that quite practical for.
They're practical, but they're just really great features, you know. It's great for peace of mind. It's efficient, so carers or family can check without having to drive every, you know, it could be 20-minute drive, longer, you know, or if they're having to pop in. I mean, one of the most frustrating things I know my mum found was she would literally feel like she was there all day with my nonna, because she'd get one thing sorted, come away, and then, you know, my nonna would back on the phone, how do I do this, where's this gone, what's happened to that, so you're back down. And so if you're able, even with, you know, one element of the day, it's not everything, but one element of the day, you know, having a drink, staying hydrated, if they can check that, and you know, schedule it, you know, make sure it's actually boiled, and you've got different temperatures.
Yes, in case scalding is a concern, you can choose, it's like 70, 80, still be hot, but
not boiling. That's a fantastic feature as well.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely, because then you can, you know, you could set it for the lower end 70, especially if you thought, I don't know, you know, test out if can they lift a full kettle, can they lift half a kettle, you know, and then they can pour it into their two-handled mug. And maintain just this sense of independence, you know, and a better quality of life. That's what it all comes down to.
And make it easier for people around that are caring for them.
Make it easier for people to help. So it's like a win-win, really, isn't it?
That's it. Bye.